This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
I will officially open the October 4th Southampton Planning Board meeting. And members in attendance tonight are Dan LaValle, Mark Darnold, and myself, Paul Damon. Stephen Johnson and Paul Fergal are not available. Mark them is absent, but we do have a quorum. We have a light agenda tonight. And the first order of business is a confirmation and clarification of an address change for 22 and 24 Pleasant Street. So let me see if I can share the screen here and bring that plan up. Of course not.
Hey, you want me to do it?
I guess so. I've got the files open. I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of this and then jump to them.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
At your mercy.
There you go. Nice job, Paul.
I didn't do that.
That might be me.
I'm not taking that credit, Mark.
I gave you the assist on that one.
Okay. See if you can blow that up a bit.
Yeah. Maybe. This thing? This button? Oh, it's jumping all over the place. Hey, I'm supposed to be the techie here. What's going on?
There you go.
Okay, so now can you still include that some more?
Yeah.
So it appears that when that A&R was approved, .22 Pleasant, which was the existing house, which is, you can point it out there, it's right here. Is that my cursor or yours? Anyway.
22.
Yep, that's the existing house. Okay, so 22 wanted to be 24 and to put the house that's going to be built on this parcel B, which was subdivided, as 24. So then the assessors, the town treasurer, and the treasurer was the first one that initiated the conversation on this, because she said, they've got to do the water billing, and for them to have to change addresses after all this time, it would be easier if 24 remained 24 and the parcel B went to 22 or whatever it should be. So they, the assessors, the water department, the fire department, many town departments all concluded that they would just as soon like 22 to remain 22 and not go to 24, and it'd make all their bookkeeping transactions and whatever else kosher, and I don't blame them. So I concur with them, and I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to weigh in on that, but they wanted an official acknowledgement from this board or confirmation about if we would agree with their assessment. And I have absolutely no reason to balk at that given all the changes that would have to be made along the way just to accommodate that. Comments?
I have no.
Just clear. So this one will say 22 and the new one is 24?
Yep.
Okay. No comments. Thanks.
Because, as the street runs,
Makes sense.
probably, they in sequential, probably in terms of sequential street numbering or whatever, it might make sense. But on the same token, then you gotta change everything around for it. So the consensus from the boards that have to deal with the most, we'll leave it the way it is. And if that's the case, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that parcel
22.
B, house 22 Pleasant Street, remain 22 Pleasant Street, and the house that is going to be built on parcel A will be 24 Pleasant Street.
Parcel B.
Yeah. Parcel. This picture though, right here it says parcel B.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's 22, right? Because that's what house on this picture says 22.
On parcel B, I believe it's going to be. They want to be 24, correct?
Oh, so they're going to change the numbers, or this
No.
picture's wrong.
No.
Oh. Do you see what I'm saying here? There's a way to zoom in. Zoom. House number 22.
They want 22 to remain.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I can't zoom out. And so that's parcel B.
Yep.
22. And parcel A will be 24.
Correct.
Okay.
So who made the motion, Mark or Dan?
I did. You guys made it correct. But I made it.
I will second the motion.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Mark. All in favor, Dan,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and myself, aye. 300. Thank you. Okay, so let's take that down, Dan. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Stop sharing. Yep.
Now the next one, if you could do the same, since I don't know what I'm doing, is to bring up the plans on the retention pond on Sarah Lane. There was a request from the Homeowners Association at Deer Run Estates, which is Sarah Lane, to remove the retention pond fence. Deer Run, that's not a subdivision I was involved in. It was before my time on the board, so that's prior to 2008. So their request, I'll see if I can bring up the letter as well, unless you have it there, Dan. But their request is to take it down. And to be quite honest with you, we have waived retention fences depending on the situation over the years here and there. So it's something that can be asked to be waived. In this particular case, back then, evidently they didn't, but now they want to take it down because of probably unsightly it looks, whatever. So you can bring that up, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have it. I have it on separate screens, so I'm good.
So they want to take down all the fencing shown?
Yeah.
Okay. Remove both fences.
So I'm looking back on this. This is almost a year old now. But back on November 17th of 2022, the request came in from a Janine Johnson at Sarah Lane, who evidently is the president of the Homeowners Association. So we suggested at the time, the board at that time concluded that the easiest way to meet your concern was to get a written letter from the designer's engineer, which was Heritage. And the board requested that he would verify the angles and the slopes of the retention pond and confirm whether it does not warrant that the fence is needed and the waiver is appropriate. So that's in effect what happened. They retained Mark Services to go in there and do another analysis. And I'm going back now to her original letter that says, the pond has never had water in it. I've been nominated by our HOA to ask for a waiver so that we can remove the fence. The fence needs repair right now, and all of the trustees, including the homeowners of the property, want to remove the fence. So that was her request. So I'm going to defer to Mark. You've dealt with this issue many times over the years in your previous life. So could you comment on that for us?
Sure. Way back when detention basins first started to become the vogue, there was a high concern about people drowning in them. So out of caution, all the planning boards required them to be fenced. As time went on, they realized that wasn't an issue as long as there was a safe, acceptable slope, and they didn't hold standing water for a long period of time. So in recent years, they haven't even required fences anymore. So I see no objection whatsoever to removing this fence. It eases maintenance and also improves it aesthetically as well.
And just to confirm, then, you saw the calcs from Mark Reed and Heritage that on the slopes and such, and you were satisfied with that?
Yeah, they're 4 to 1. That's an acceptable slope.
Yeah, as I said before, in recent years, we've had some that we've allowed and some that we've waived, so it's been back and forth. And the only reason I say that is because under the current subdivision regulations of this town right now, they're a requirement, but they can request a waiver on it, and we have granted it. So, Dan, do you have any comment on this at all?
No comment. I agree with Mr. Arnold.
And again, it was most of the comments we heard years ago on these subdivisions came up was people were worried about the water in them, and if one of their children might have been out playing and could possibly have slipped in and drowned. But as Mark said, that's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, that's a leaching basin also. That's not a catch basin. So the water doesn't go down that grade very fast. It wouldn't suck somebody and pin them to the bottom.
Right. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, can I have a motion on that to grant the waiver to remove the existing fence?
I move that we remove the requirement to install a fence around the detention basin and grant the waiver request. And
that's at Sarah Lane and Deer Run Estates.
Correct.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Mark?
Aye.
Oh. Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Myself? Aye. So moved. Okay, Dan, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, stop the sharing.
Okay, the only other things I've got here are just a heads up for you folks that tomorrow morning, Richard Harris and myself are going to be meeting with representatives from Big Y and their engineers about a proposed gas station and convenience store at 23 to 27 College Highway. And the biggest hurdle they have to overcome on this is they will need to do above ground gas tanks in that area on College Highway because it's in the aquifer water recharge area. So they're asking for just a pre-planning meeting with different departments to get their ducks in order on this so they can move forward with the plan down the road. So Richard and I will be meeting. And Mark, if you so desire, if you would like to sit in, you're welcome. As long as we don't have a quorum, that's fine. It's at 9:30 tomorrow in the second floor meeting room at Town Hall. So that's a big project on the horizon. Another one is, and there's nothing on it yet, but there's a big solar voltaic project that's being considered right now for East Street. And they are, again, looking for they asked what our meeting schedule was. It's kind of unique. This one is not just a solar field, but it's going to be in an orchard, which is going to be operational, and they're going to be in different sections of the orchard, I guess, that will still not impede with the agriculture operation of the orchard. So it's kind of an interesting project that's coming forward. So it looks like they might be coming to us by November with that. The big wide plan, I'm sure, probably won't reach us till the first of the year, given all the hurdles they have to jump through on that. And I'm pretty sure, too, that the select board, if I'm not mistaken, I think the select board has to weigh in on that because of the above ground tanks. Is that your understanding, Mark?
I'm not sure.
No. I think when I read something in the table of use on that the select board, there's certain projects that come before the board that the select board has to also approve. So it just won't be a simple site plan approval and stormwater. It'll be another presentation they have to make probably to the select board. And that's the update on that. I have no other business other than I have one warrant. Richard Harris submitted his bill, which covers 3 months for July, August, and September, and the total is $12.99.90 for the 3 months. So that, just to give a little bit of background on that and information, his work in July consisted of meeting about this. It's called the solar project, by the way. Now that I've got the right terminology, is called an agrivoltaic project. He had some consulting to do on that. He also had consulting with Parsons Village, the proposed plan there for College Highway over across from Cumberland Farms area. Mark sat in on that pre-planning meeting. And then some other project reviews and submissions. Also, the East Street Common Drive project that we approved for the Berkshire County Arc. So these are all projects that he had worked on for the past 3 months. So I'm looking for an approval of $12.99.90 for his services. Do I have a motion?
No. Who goes first? I move that we accept the invoice for the consultant for $12.99.90 for services for the planning board.
Richard Harris. Yep.
Richard Harris.
Second.
Motion made by Mark and seconded by Dan. All in favor? Dan?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Myself, aye. 3. Okay, before we adjourn, is there any committee reports that are pending that we need, any information there that we need to hear about?
I think.
Not at this time. We have some stuff coming up, but nothing that's relevant today.
No.
Yeah.
What was that on, Mark? The
Green Waters acquisition of some properties for aquifer protection and drinking water protection. But that, I don't think it directly involves the planning board, but just because it's sort of a land use issue, it might be of an interest.
anything about the public safety or anything like that?
Not at this time. We're still working through, working with the consultant regarding choosing the most appropriate site. So that's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. Anything from your end, Dan?
Yeah, nothing yet or really specific to mention yet. Just noting we have made more progress on the town broadband initiative. We got our request for proposal out to Westfield and the Holyoke providers there to work on a municipal agreement with them to connect up fiber to their networks. So it's slowly moving forward. Someday the planning board, I'm sure, will have to be involved with all the support for the telephone pole connections and all that good stuff. So we'll get there. But
Very good.
that's going to take a little while.
Okay, very good. If there's nothing else anybody wants to discuss or report on, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn. And I'll make it.
Oh.
Do I get a second?
Second.
I made the motion and Dan seconded for a adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, everyone. Thank you. And stay tuned. Again, I had to cancel a meeting before this, so if there's little going on, don't be surprised if I cancel. And with some of these projects coming up, I did tell, not the Big Y people, what was the other one?